Hello everybody, welcome back to the latest episode in our series in programming with Java. In this episode we're going to take a further look at control flow, which we started discussing last week. We started talking about how we can control how the program runs. Like normally a program runs from top to bottom. In this case we are controlling which pieces of code run and which ones don't run and how many times it runs. So just to review what we talked about last week. We started by talking about this if-else statement right here, where we type if, and then inside of our parentheses we put a conditional, something that becomes true or false, right? And in this case we have name.length, so the length of the string name is less than 5. So if it's less than 5, it evaluates the true, and it runs this bit of code within the first set of curly braces right here. And if it's not less than 5, if it's greater than or equal to 5, then it runs this second bit of code right here, the else part. We have that same thing right here on line 16 through 20, another if-else statement, but this time with age. And then finally we talked about a for loop. Takes in 3 arguments. The first one gives us a counter of sorts. The second part is our conditional, just like our if statement right here. It's just like that, except it is it's in the for loop, and it tells us whenever the for loop is going to run. But the for loop is always going to run when this is true until it becomes false. And then the last part is what happens every time the for loop runs. So in this case, it increases our counter by 1. Now in today's episode, we're going to look at more advanced versions of these things that we've talked about so far. So let's say we have we want to do something with our if statements, right? And we just want to see if the name equals a particular name or something, right? Normally, if you're doing something like a string, you can say name equals Adam or something like that, right? And it says like it works, but you do want to be careful of this. We'll talk about why in a future episode. But in order to see if a string is equal to another string, you want to use the dot equals method. So in here, you can say dot equals, and if we just type Adam and say the name was Adam, we can print out what's up. Okay. Right, and say what's up, and then push run. Oh, and look, the name is Jack, so it doesn't print that. If we change this to Adam, push run, it says what's up, right? And if let's say we got another if statement, we want to do your name is Jack, say you're awesome or something, right? Now if we change this to Jack, like we had before, it'll print out you're awesome. And we can do this for all of the names that we want to code in here. But that becomes kind of cumbersome to have like if this, and print out this, and then if. So we're going to use this thing called a switch. And a switch basically allows us to define different cases. Right, so instead of doing this, we type switch like this, open parentheses, open curly braces. And inside the parentheses, we're going to put what we want to check. In this case, it's name, right? Which have name. And then we go here, we can type case Adam, right? So we all have to do is type case Adam, like this. And then we can print print ln, right? We can print what's up right here, and then we can go down and we can type case Jack, and we can just print out you're awesome right here, just like that, right? So now if we comment out this code, we do that by pushing control / as these comments in front right here to each line, and we push run. This you're awesome. Now it is worth noting, we are forgetting a crucial point. Those of you guys who are familiar with switch statements might be realizing. If I put in Adam, I push run, it says what's up and you're awesome. So what happens is that it goes to the switch and says, okay, case is Adam, right? So we're gonna print out what's up, and as soon as it prints out what's up, it's gonna keep going, and it's gonna be like, okay, we print out what's up, now let's print out you're awesome as well. And it keeps going down the line of all the switch things once it figures out something that works. And so what we want to do is we want to tell it to break. After it prints out Adam, it's going to print break. And so this time it only prints what's up right here, right? Let's go ahead and get rid of all this up here just to not confuse ourselves when we put them. Now it says what's up. We can also add in more cases. So case LE or something, right? We can go down, and then we can type. Oh, I forgot to mention that. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. If in Eclipse you could type out sysout and you push Control Space, it's a shortcut to create a whole print statement. So without let's say like hey girl or something, right? Like that. And so if we switch this to LE, see that it prints out that right there. Now let's say we don't know the person, right? Let's say they put in something that's not in our system already. We can put a default case, right? So we say default, and we can just print out, I don't know you. And so now if we change this to something like Harry, then we push run, and it says I don't know you. And it only says I don't know you if we have someone like Harry. If we say Adam, there we go. It'll print out what's up. That is your switch statement right there. It's useful for having a bunch of if statements that are very similar, all pushed into one. And now that we talked about the if statements, the next thing I want to talk about is variations on this for loop right here. And so we had this basic for loop where generally we start at around 0. We go all the way up to age. If you don't want to start at 0, you want to start at 1, but you do want to print out however many times the age is, right? So if we started at 0 and we had an age of 8, it will print out happy birthday 8 times. Another variation on this is start at 1. Now I want to talk about some variations on the for loop. We have this basic for loop right here where we start at 0 and we increment by 1 all the way up until we get to the age of it. So it'll print out the thing 18 times. That's a little complicated. So there's another type of loop called the while loop, which is basically just a condition. Like an if statement, it just takes one parameter. The while, if we have the variable e is less than age, right? But of course, it doesn't know what e is, and so before the while loop, we have to tell it what e is. So e is equal to 0, right? So we have integer int e equals 0, and while e is less than age, we can print out happy, let's use b day this time, right? Happy b day, and let's say we so now we're going to comment this out right here, and we're going to see how this works, right? We have integer e equals 0 and while e is less than age. Now if we push run, we see that we have a small problem. It's not stopping, and it's because e isn't changing, right? So we're missing our third parameter in the for loop, and we're going to do e++ right here. And so every time the while loop runs, it's going to increment e by 1, and it runs this 8 times, which is our age up here. So this while loop is very similar to the for loop, except it breaks it out into separate components, where you define your counter beforehand, you check your conditional in here, and then you do something to the counter afterwards. So very, very, very similar, just structured differently. Each one of these loops has their own separate uses. There is a variation on the while loop, which is called a DoWhile Loop. So we have do, set of curly braces, and then while, parentheses. Right. So inside of here, we can set our e is less than age, right? And then inside the do part, we're going to say what we want to do. In this case, we want to we want to tell it, hey, print out happy birthday while e is less than age. Also, we got to e plus. So if we comment this out right here, and we push run, we get the same thing. That's a little strange, right? Why would you want to take this nice elegant while this and this do this stuff in here and change it around and say do all of this stuff in here while e is less than age? And the answer is because of how the computer interprets this. It runs from top to bottom, right? So it's going through and it's like do this piece of code. So it runs this piece of code while this thing is checking, and then if this thing is true, it runs it again. And this means that it'll always run what's inside at least once, even if the conditional is not true, right? So let's say age is something like really small number, -5 or something, right? So 0 is obviously not less than -5, which means that if we comment this out and we look at the first while loop we have right here, it doesn't print anything out. Now, if we uncomment that right, oh no, that is not what I want to. Nope. Let's just delete these manually. Now, if we run this, you see it prints it out once, even though the age is much less than 0. It goes through and it runs this one time, and then it checks it. So this could be useful if you want to run some sort of snippet of code at least once, and then you want to see if you can keep running it or not. I do recommend you check out these, play around with the while loops and DoWhile loops, as well as the switches. While loops are probably going to be one from this lesson one of the things you use most in programming. You use them quite often. I do recommend you play around with those a little bit, get some practice in them, and until next time, I'll see you later. Take care.